Hello and welcome to Faithfully Stampin' with Jennifer Helm. I am Jennifer Helm, the Faithful Stamper and independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up! Today I have for you a super simple gift card holder. This is inspired by Mary Fish of StampinPretty.com. She created this unbelievably simple gift card holder and I just fell in love because sometimes you don't need something big and fancy, you just want something simple to serve its purpose as far as giving a gift card. So this is what we're going to be making this evening. It closes with a bow and is just the right size for a gift card and an optional little insert if you want more room to write your message in. So I'm going to show you a couple different options as far as closures and things like that, but first of all, let's go ahead and get started. You're going to need one piece of cardstock and one piece of designer series paper. So your cardstock is going to be 3 inches by 9 3/4, and I'll talk more about the score measurements in a minute, but if you want to take a quick screenshot, you can. Then your designer series paper is going to be 2 3/4 by 9 3/8, and you just need to score each one of these a couple of times and you're ready to assemble your gift card holder. So these are really very quick, very simple. So you do need a scoring tool. I have my paper trimmer scorer, and the first thing I'm going to do is take my cardstock. We're scoring on the long edge of the paper, so we're going to score this at 2 1/4 and then 6 1/2, and that's ready to go. Now, with your designer series paper, remember this is not as thick as cardstock, so you do not need to press hard with your scoring blade or you're going to tear the paper. I did that a couple times while I was trying to put my samples together. One other word to the wise. Pick a paper that is non-directional, because what we're going to do is once we glue it to our gift card holder base and fold it up, we're going to be bending the paper. So if you have a directional paper, something's going to be upside down when you're finished. So something like this with an all-over pattern is definitely the way to go. This one I'm going to score at 2 inches, gently, remember, and 6 1/4. It is kind of a trick to remember not to press really hard. You just want to barely put a line there so you can see where to fold it, but not actually tear through the paper. So that is all the scoring that we need to do. Next, you need a corner rounder punch. Stampin' Up! Has our detailed trio punch. So it's 3 punches in one. There's a corner rounder. There's this little oval dot that can be used for different things. And this beautiful detailed punch for the corner. I love this one and I really should remember to use it more often than I do. But these punches have little guides on each corner to show you where to put your paper in. So you just slip it in until it nestles snugly in that corner, and then the trick with this punch is to use your whole hand and press down. A lot of times I tend to want to just focus right here because this is the portion of the punch I'm using, and then the punch doesn't want to work right. So remember, use the whole thing. And so just like that, I've rounded my corners. Now, if you don't have a corner rounder, it's okay. You don't have to round them. It makes it look a little more polished, but would absolutely be fine without rounding the corners as well. Totally up to you. So now I've got those 4 corners punched, and I can take my little corner bits and throw them away. Next up, we are going to do some gluing. Now you can use liquid glue for this if you want, or tape runner. What I like to do first is I like to make sure I have my paper correctly oriented, because your score lines are not equidistant from the edges, so if you have them reversed, your paper's not going to line up correctly for assembling the card. So I like to make sure before I put any glue anywhere that my score lines match up. And then I go ahead and put my glue on. Now you can use liquid glue. You have to make sure you let it sit for just a minute to grab, but you can also use a tape runner. If you're using a tape runner like our Stampin' Seal Plus, I recommend a strong one like our Plus to make sure the paper's not going anywhere. And I also recommend getting as close to the edges as possible. especially on the sides and your top and bottom flaps here, because otherwise it will pull away from the base and you don't want that to be coming apart with whoever you're gifting it to. So I go just about all the way around the edges, and then I'll just give it a little bit more here to make sure I have enough glue. And I always end up turning my paper around in the process. So now I can see I've got it lined up again. And I'm just gonna hold it up and kind of line it up without putting it down first. And then once I've got it centered, top and bottom, and my score lines are matching, I go ahead and put it down and press. Okay, once this is done, I just flip it over and I fold. It is a little bit of a stiff fold because you have two layers here that you are folding. Just give it a little burnish with a bone folder. And next up we create the pocket. So your shorter flap is the top pocket, and then the longer one is to hold the gift card. I guess top flap pocket. Using the wrong words. Now for this you can use glue. Again, you would need to hold it a little bit longer just to make sure it's sealed. But I like tear and tape. And I'm using my block to tear the edge. Just makes it a little neater. You do not want to go any wider than 1/4 of an inch with your tape though, because it will take up too much space in your gift card holder. These are really made specifically for a gift card. You can see I don't have a lot of room to play with here. So 1/4 inch or narrower if you have it. I'm gonna go ahead and rub my tape, make sure it's really set there, and then I come back with my take your pick tool and I can just lift off the edges of the tape. I'm so glad I learned this trick because it saves me trying to pick up that tape with my fingernails. So once my tape is on, I'm going to just go ahead and fold it shut. And there we go. So one optional thing, you do not have to do this, it's totally up to you, but if you prefer to have a writing surface of some kind in the card, either a piece of cardstock to put your sentiment on in the pocket with the gift card, I'm going to teach you how to do that in a minute, but one of my Facebook followers suggested that you could also write here on the flap. So if you're using a dark colored cardstock, you could simply cut a rectangle to fit here, maybe around the corners, at least at the top, and write your message there. But if you prefer something to slip in the pocket with the gift card, you can use an optional insert. This is 2 1/4 inches wide by 4 inches tall. You might want to go with a thicker cardstock. If you have thick basic white or thick very vanilla, you might want to go with that. It's just a little sturdier to put in this pocket. So I'm going to decorate this really quick. The stamp set I am using tonight is Banner Year. I love this because it covers lots of different occasions. You can do Valentine's Day, Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas, and even some general things like A Treat So Sweet, Guess Who Loves You, A Basic To From, and then all these cute little images here at the bottom. So comes in handy for decorating envelopes and things such as that. So I'm going to use my Stampin' Pierce mat because I'm using a clear photopolymer stamp. And I just need that extra cushion. So here I am just using the holly leaves, some garden green ink to match my cardstock, and then real red for my holly berries. And without a whole lot of fuss, I've got a cute little insert to put in there with my gift card. Now, before I put my green ink away, I am going to work on my decorations for the front of my gift card holder. You can use any different number of labels. Let's see here. I just wanted to pull this one back over. I'm going to use the Label Me Fancy punch. You'll see here in a minute, but you could leave a label off, use a tiny strip of cardstock. Really, your options are wide open. I'll show you some different samples in a moment. And let's see here. I am going to grab some soft sea foam that coordinates with my Designer Series paper. and the Be Merry stamp set. I'm actually going to flip this around and use this edge. I'm going to close my ink before I stick my sleeve in it. Now I'm going to use this Label Me Fancy punch to create my label. Yeah, I think that's close. Yep. Sometimes I stamp a little too far away from the edge, but that actually worked out just perfect. So now it's up to you whether you want to put your label, if you have one, on the top flap of your gift card holder or on the bottom. I'm actually, let's see, I'm going to take some red ribbon here. This is our double stitched satin ribbon. And we'll see if I can tie a nice bow. I'm not the world's best bow tire, so sometimes I struggle. And if you're a struggler like me, I will give you some options for how to finagle your gift card holder. That one didn't come out too badly. I think I'm just going to leave that right like that. So I'm going to put my decoration on the bottom of my gift card holder. Going to use some mini dimensionals. Typically what I would do is use 2 larger ones, but there is a method to my madness. I want to add a little additional decoration in a moment here, so I want to be able to tuck it behind my label, so I'm keeping my dimensionals close to the middle, which will give me room to add my decorations. I have a piece of vellum and a piece of garden green cardstock, and I'm going to just punch a sprig using our sprig punch out of each paper. I like vellum because it gives you a little bit of an accent, a different look, without being too stark on your project. You can see it almost blends in with my tabletop there. So what I'm going to do is take some glue dots and add a glue dot to the back of my sprigs. And then I can slip these right behind the label and just give it a pretty little accent. So sometimes I put my vellum on first, sometimes I do the other one. Totally depends on the mood of the day. So I'm just going to tuck these little sprigs in here, give them a press. Those glue dots will keep it nice and snug right there. And I like this, but I wanted to add one more thing. So I have some pearls, and what I love about our embellishments like pearls and rhinestones or enamel shapes that don't have a lot of color to them, you can create customized color embellishments using our Stampin' Blends markers. These are alcohol markers, and this happens to be light cherry cobbler. Take the brush end, and all you have to do is swirl onto your pearls or your rhinestones. This works for anything, as I said, that doesn't have a lot of color already. It dries remarkably fast, so you don't have to worry about it smearing your project. And now I have cute little embellishments that match. So I use my Take Your Pick tool because otherwise I end up with these stuck on my fingernails, or more typically I throw them across the room, find them on my shirt or in my hair. So this Take Your Pick tool, I can grab them right on the ends of my piercing tool. Sorry, I forgot my words there for a moment. We also have a spatula end, which sometimes I use as well. But doesn't that look cute? And I didn't have to go digging for red embellishments. All right, so there is my quick and simple gift card holder. Now, I was talking before about how you might not want to fuss with tying bows. If you're good at tying a bow, but maybe not necessarily one wrapped around like I did, you can simply tie a single bow, but you will need a way to close your gift card holder. So I recommend Velcro dots. You can just tuck a Velcro dot or 2 if you wanted under your flap, and then that's a perfect way to keep your gift card holder sealed without fooling with the ribbon. So you can see this one is basic, same idea. The only difference is Velcro dot on this one versus a full ribbon bow on this one. And I changed the position of the sentiment. So lots of options here for you. Obviously these are for Christmas, but this is great for any other occasion as well. Oops, one more Christmas one to show you. This one I changed it up a little bit, just changed the label and positioning. But these are great for any occasion such as this. This is a birthday, or I'm sorry, not a birthday. Thank you, gift card holder. This one I'm just going to slide the ribbon down and you can see the flap that I created. And I was trying to spare myself having to untie and retie bows. Now, I did another one in our peach paper with a simple bow, and I used my double oval punch for my sentiment. This one I did create an insert to go with my gift card and a Velcro dot closure. And then another birthday. This is why I had birthday on the brain. Just this one I kept very simple. I was thinking this would be great for a young lady, perhaps. Bright colors and just simple and fun. So I hope you enjoyed getting to learn how to make a super simple and quick gift card holder. Thank you so much for joining me. Take care and happy crafting.